Some people were a little confused about what I posted on Instagram regarding the whole best player in the NBA versus the best player in the world conversation. I'm going to take this time and this episode to revisit this discussion and elaborate some more on what I was talking about. If you want to listen to the whole conversation with more context, it's linked below, and it's on the Goat Talk podcast with my guy Marcus. He asked me about this topic, best player in the NBA. When I said that I feel that Steph Curry has to be the best player in the NBA right now, that is based on the fact that he was just the best player on the championship team. To me, the best player in the NBA takes what I just said into account. Like, who just won, who just dominated? And the answer to that is Steph. LeBron fans feel like you are committing treason and just being completely disrespectful by not acknowledging that he's still the best player in the NBA, in the world, whatever, period, when healthy. And like, I can't be mad at that. So right now where we are, I feel like, there are four people in the mix of this conversation. Steph, who I said, I feel like right now you have to give him best player in the NBA. KD, Kevin Durant, who plenty of people will argue he could be the best player right now. I don't think as many people. I don't think KD has that kind of. I mean, everyone has their loyal fans and following, but I don't think as many people are publicly vouching for KD as the best player in the league. Then you have LeBron. When healthy, LeBron still looks like one of the best players, if not the best player. So strong argument for LeBron. And Giannis, the best player in the NBA, is typically the best player in the world. I mean, the NBA is the best basketball league in the world. So whoever is the top dog in the NBA at the time, usually, almost all the time, it's safe to say that that player is also the best player in the world. But I think that right now, based on those four guys that I just mentioned, kind of like the top four talents in the league right now. But again, for me, when it comes to the best player in the NBA, like someone commented, and this is one of the questions, this is why I'm talking about this and why I feel like it's really confusing right now, because someone commented and said, which I agree with, how could you not be the best player in the NBA but be the best player in the world? Because in the video clip that I posted, I said that I feel like Steph has to be the best player in the NBA. But me personally, if someone asked me who's the best player in the world, I would say Giannis or KD. I just feel like right now it's not as straightforward as that, because we have too many otherworldly talents between Giannis, KD, and LeBron who can challenge Steph, who I feel like is the best player in the NBA because of what he just did this past season, and he's on top right now. Those kinds of otherworldly talents could challenge Steph for the title of best player in the world. And again, you can go and listen to the full thing for more context around what I was trying to say about the Olympics and FIBA and just just international competition. For me, I feel like that helps me determine who I think is the best player in the world at the time, because I want to see basically just at some, whether it's in the Olympics, whenever you get a chance to show that overseas you dominate too, like you show who you are over there, that's when I feel like you are definitely the best player in the world. I know Steph can do that. I believe Steph could do that. I'm not saying he couldn't. I just haven't seen it yet. The best player in the NBA, I think, is just goes off of who's on top right now. The best basketball player in the NBA, if you're asking me who's the best all-around basketball player, there you go. Once you throw in all around, LeBron fans just feel like it's theirs. There's no competition. There's no debate. Any talk of all around basketball player, LeBron has to be on top. And who can argue against that, right? So if you want the discussion of best NBA player to also mean best all around basketball player, then that's where people like LeBron, Giannis, or KD present a really strong argument against Steph. But my thing is, Steph just won. He averaged like 30 in the finals. He cooked up everybody again, and he came back. I mean, he won without KD. Steph is back on top. He's the best player in the NBA right now. If we're talking specifically about skill set, basketball, all around, all that kind of language, then you got other people in the mix. I just think right now, with the way our talent is set up, best player in the NBA and best player in the world, maybe for the first time ever, is not completely congruent. It's not completely one and the same. And obviously I'm not using that as a way to knock Steph, who I feel like has to be the best player in the NBA right now, unless you're changing the rhetoric and the conversation around that. But the best player in the NBA, based on what happened just a few months ago in June, is now again Steph Curry. He's on top. I'm like, yo, LeBron fans hate to hear that. Fatal four-way between Steph, KD, Giannis, and Bron, who wins? And I'm sure KD fans in that scenario would feel great about their chances, and they would stick their chests out and be like, yeah, in that scenario, if we're just talking ones, like King of the Hill, just, check rock, like, yo, KD will bust all of y'all up. But there are so many other factors that go into it, of course. If you're talking about best all-around basketball player, to me, that's not the same exact thing as who the best player in the NBA is right now. What I really wanted to just say is that, like, I understand LeBron fans who say, yo, he's still the best in the league and in the world. I get it. I understand. If you expand the conversation into different things, such as who's the best player in the world, I personally may give you a different answer. And that's where Steph fans probably have a problem with me. So I get it. I understand, because if Steph is the best player in the NBA, how is he not the best player in the world? Well, if KD is the best player in the world, how is he not the best player in the NBA? I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to talk through and figure out. If you have a player like Steph or LeBron or Giannis or KD or, whoever just won, or Kawhi, if they just came off a win, if they're on top and they're in their prime still, and it's their league until someone else takes it from them. It was Giannis's coming into last season. It was Kawhi's a few years ago. It was LeBron got it back in the bubble, right? So, like, they're all still here. But right now, Steph is fresh off, so he's on top. This is the toughest place we've ever been in when it comes to this conversation around who the best player in the NBA is and who is the best player in the world. So comment down below. Give me your thoughts. Give me your takes. Subscribe for more episodes of the Basketball Society podcast. I'm Martin Sories. Stay tapped in. I appreciate you for listening.